Hello, Epic Film fans. I am LoySauce, and welcome to an Epic Film Guy's video review. Now, those of you who know me or listen to the podcast know that I have a great affinity for Z-grade horror trash, particularly slasher films. Low budget, no budget, independent, direct-to-video, doesn't matter. I'm pretty easy to please. However, I've always said that there's nothing on this planet better than a fun horror movie, and nothing worse than a terrible horror movie. Where does Aquaslash fall on the spectrum? Well, judging from the premise alone, it seems like your typical slasher setup. This new film from French-Canadian director Renaud Gauthier follows the exploits of what seems to be the smallest high school graduating class of all time as they celebrate the start of their summer season with a weekend of bacchanalia at Wet Valley Water Park, the site where a grisly murder took place 30 years prior. The weekend culminates in a competition with a cash prize awarded to whoever can fly down the water slides the fastest, but oh no! Someone's installed giant razor blades in the slides, and well, let's just say some of the teens meet an unfortunate end as the chlorinated pool water runs red with blood. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds like the greatest movie ever made, until you actually plunk down your hard-earned cash to rent it and discover that that clever conceit really only takes up the last 10 minutes of the film. And by the time you get there, you're numb from just having sat through a whole hour of sheer torture. Despite being only 71 minutes long, Aquaslash is waterlogged with directionless subplots, obnoxious characters, and shameless padding, including reusing the same shots multiple times over. Suddenly the film stops dead in its tracks and becomes a music video from the worst 80s wedding band you've ever heard in your life, as they utterly desecrate Corey Hart's Sunglasses at Night. The FBI should investigate those responsible for this cover and charge them with a hate crime. None of the characters convey anything resembling a real human trait aside from perversion, and none of the dialogue makes any sense at all. At one point, I actually thought I was having a psychotic episode because I couldn't comprehend the words that were being spoken. All of the attempts at humor land with a resounding thud, particularly a painful running joke about no one being able to remember the name of one of the teens who's named Chad. What's the punchline to this joke? There isn't one. But as spectacularly inept as the storytelling in Aquaslash is, the technical aspects don't fare much better. There are literally shots in this that are out of focus, and the editing is startlingly amateurish. The film's one saving grace is the centerpiece gore gag, the handiwork of the Blood Brothers, who worked on the gore effects for the infinitely superior indie genre throwback Turbo Kid. The practical effects here are admittedly top-notch, but unfortunately the weak buildup hampers the effect. At first you don't know which slide contains the blades, so there is an attempted element of suspense as to who will meet their demise. But since there's not a distinctive character in the whole lot, let alone one that you actually care about, you're left shrugging instead of shrieking with surprise. On top of that, as blood, dismembered body parts, and entrails fill the pool below, people still keep going down the slide. I know they're up high, but can they not simply look down and see the carnage from up above? Does it not dawn on them either that their friends aren't coming out the other side? And for that matter, where are the lifeguards? And most confounding of all, when the other contestants make it to the bottom, they celebrate, rather than immediately noticing, hey, there's blood and viscera in the water, something's wrong here. And more confounding still, you're able to see the extras in the background dipping their feet in the water that their classmates just died in. Is every single character in this movie a moron? Well, actually, yeah, that checks out. I am imploring all of you lovely people watching this review, please do not spend your money to rent this movie, even if you like schlock like this, even if bad slashers are your bread and butter. Instead, I advise you to save 69 minutes and just watch the trailer on YouTube. It shows all the best parts anyway, and that way you can just pretend that it's the trailer for a fake movie. It pains me to say this, because a slasher set in a water park sounds like it could be an absolute blast, and you can tell Gauthier is trying to pay homage to the original Friday the 13th with a somewhat promising opening kill scene, as well as a twist ending explaining the motivations of the killer that made me audibly shout, "What?" at my laptop screen, but with precisely zero suspense, very little nudity, and an amazing title and premise squandered. Aquaslash doesn't even come close to delivering horror fans the goods. On the EFG scale of 1 to 10, Aquaslash gets a 1. Be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed, and we invite you all to hit us up on social media as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, we will see you at the movies.